I'm absolutely furious right now. I'm fuming so bad to the point where I feel like I'm moments away from punching two holes in my wall just because of how mad I am. This morning, Pam Bondi testified before the House Judiciary Committee to face questioning regarding the Justice Department oversight, specifically on the handling of the Epstein files, which I think is completely justified, given they've ignored deadlines, they've lied, and they've been anything but transparent with us. Pam Bondi is an absolute mockery of justice and a disgrace to our country, and I'm going to prove it to you. So this morning, when she was testifying in Congress, she initially comes out and says, "I'm deeply sorry." She starts talking about how she feels bad for the victims and how, since she's a prosecutor, she's spent her entire life defending these types of victims. This is absolute, just total garbage, total BS. She eventually goes on to deflect almost every single question that's asked to her, to the point where she starts scapegoating Merrick Garland and Joe Biden's administration instead of focusing on right now and what she's done as our Attorney General. She even goes as far as not even looking some of the victims in their faces, despite multiple attempts by the questioner asking, "Will you look them in the face?" And she doesn't answer and instead starts scapegoating other people. It's just absolutely infuriating. So I'm going to play this clip real quick on how she's, quote, sorry, even though she really isn't. Take a listen.
To address the Epstein files, more than 500 attorneys and reviewers spent thousands of hours painstakingly reviewing millions of pages to comply with Congress's law. We've released more than 3 million pages, including 180,000 images, all to the public, while doing our very best in the time frame allotted by the legislation to protect victims.
I'm just going to stop it right there real quick. It's funny that she mentions the timeline and doing their very best. That is total crap. What is she even talking about? They literally voted that they were going to release some of these files on December 18th. But then December 18th went by, then December 30th went by, and still the files weren't released. So to say that they did their best to release them in the time frame that was given is total garbage.
And if you brought us a victim's name that was inadvertently released, we immediately redacted it. All members of Congress, as you know, are invited to visit DOJ to see for yourselves. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the Epstein survivors who are here today. I'm a career prosecutor, and despite what the ranking member said, I have spent my entire career fighting for victims, and I will continue to do so. I am deeply sorry for what any victim has been through.
It honestly feels so scripted to the point where I just don't even believe anything she says. And it's funny that she mentions her being a criminal prosecutor as if that has anything to do with releasing the Epstein files or being a good one even, right? You can be the president of the United States and be one of the most corrupt people I've ever seen. Obviously, we see that every single day with Donald Trump.
Especially as a result of that monster. If you have any information to share with law enforcement about anyone who has hurt you or abused you, the FBI is waiting to hear from you.
As if it's their
responsibility. I want you to know that any accusations of criminal wrongdoing will be taken seriously and investigated.
Sure.
The Department of Justice is committed to holding criminals accountable to the fullest extent of the law.
I'm going to pause it right there just to prove that Pam Bondi will take everything seriously. I'm going to go back to an article that came out last year, back in February of 2025. Remember when Pam Bondi came out and said the Epstein client was sitting on her desk? She literally said about a year ago at this point that the files were sitting on her desk, the client list and everything. Later, she walked back on that theory, saying that it actually doesn't even exist. The client list didn't exist, the Epstein files didn't exist, none of it existed. So how are we supposed to think that she would take any of this seriously? This is just ridiculous. How corrupt can this administration get? Honest to God, I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone. So to go back to Pam Bondi, she was later questioned by Gerald Nadler of New York, he's a representative, on some of this stuff, and she just deflects every single question he's asking, etc., etc. Just take a listen.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, You showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to
Yes.
answer the question
How-
the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're gonna answer
theatrics
the
are
question the way
ridiculous.
Not answering the question.
I asked it. How
Chairman
many have you
Jordan, I'm not
indicted?
going to get in the gutter with these people,
How many
but
have
I'm
you-
going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time belongs to
Reclaiming my time.
the time
I
belongs.
think it's very
Reclaiming
interesting.
my time.
I think it's very
Reclaiming my
interesting.
time.
You can
that
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about
but
they
reclaiming my time,
indicted.
Mr.
The
Chairman.
president said they
Close the
indicted
clock.
him
Mr.
twice.
Mr. Chairman, please
They
stop the
sure
clock
did.
and stop the
he
clock and
indicted-
restore his time.
Okay, here we go with these
Committee will be in order.
theatrics.
The time
Reclaiming my
belongs
time
to the
and
gentleman
roll back
from
the
New
clock,
York.
please.
We will give you a few more seconds. We will do that. But when
Reclaiming
you ask
my-
a question, the
The
witness
question
gets to
was-
answer. You may not like the answer, but she
Right.
gets to
The
answer.
question was, how many of Epstein's...
They don't like
What?
the answer,
Reclaiming
Chairman,
my time.
because it's honest.
Reclaiming
So
my-
he asked a
Reclaiming my
4-minute
time.
question.
Restore 45
and
seconds to
I am
Mr. Nadler,
going
please,
to
Mr. Chairman.
Reclaiming my time.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaiming-
Not on.
This is just an absolute joke. Honest to God, I can't even believe this is our Congress. This is our government working right now. This wouldn't even be allowed in my classroom in second grade. All this interrupting and arguing. Did any of these people learn to raise their hand and, when like they're talking, they get the talking piece and they don't get to interrupt each other? I feel like they lack some of the most basic levels of human decency, and I just don't understand. I don't get it. Then she's asked if she can just do the bare minimum, which is looking some of the victims in their faces. Maybe she doesn't think she's guilty of what some of these people are accusing her of, but at the very least, you would think that our own Attorney General would be able to look some of the Epstein Files victims in their faces, but apparently not. Take a listen.
Please raise your hands if you have still not been able to meet with this Department of Justice. Please know for the record that every single survivor has raised their hand. Attorney General Bondi, you apologized to the survivors in your opening statement for what they went through at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. Will you turn to them now and apologize for what your Department of Justice has put them through with the absolutely unacceptable release of the Epstein files and their information?
Congresswoman, you sat before, Merrick Garland sat in this chair twice.
Attorney General
Twice.
Bondi.
No, can
I'm
I
gonna
finish my answer?
No, I'm going to reclaim my time because I asked you a
Attorney General, yes,
specific
sir.
question
Attorney General
that
can
I would
respond to your
like
question.
you to answer, which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
That's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't
It is
like the
my
answer.
time.
So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't
a
she ask
question.
Merrick Garland this
I am
twice
reclaiming
when he
my
sat in
time, and
chair?
when I
will
reclaim my
continue to
time,
answer.
it is
Mr. Chairman, the
my
gentlelady's
time.
reclaimed
I'm
her
not going
time.
to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you.
Is it theatrics to ask her to just do the bare minimum and look some of the victims in their faces?
You're not going to answer this question, so let me just say
Chairman, I'll
this.
direct it to
What a
you.
massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness
I'm
is
not gonna get in
interrupted.
the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing theatrics.
and let me
Absolutely disgusting and abhorrent behavior by the Attorney General of the United States. I don't know how she can sleep at night knowing that she's just this awful of a human being. And to say that they just don't like the answer is just so absurd. I mean, it's like if Donald Trump was asked to testify about the Epstein files in court, and instead he starts talking about how great of an economy he has, or how they're receiving record numbers in the White House, for whatever reason. It's like if he started talking about the new White House ballroom when they asked him specifically about the Epstein files. It's like, you can't do that. You have to answer the question. It's not about answering it in the way that you want, or in a way that they don't like. It's about actually answering the question that they asked. This isn't that complicated. And finally, I wanted to bring your attention to this because this was absolutely awesome. Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland totally grilled her. This is awesome. This is pretty sweet to hear, but also very sad to see that even after this, she won't answer a damn thing or respond to anything. It's just really, really frustrating. So take a listen.
You're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos in the Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements in there, and you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff. In the half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names, which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends, but you published their names, their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal, you acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty towards more than 1,000 victims raped, abused, and trafficked.
Absolutely powerful words from Representative Jamie Raskin. I'm going to probably leave it at there, guys. Thank you very much. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below, leave a blue heart in the comment sections, ring that notification bell. Thank you for bearing with me as I kind of enter this new journey and try to get better at my videos. I hope through time I'll probably get a little bit better and deliver some better content, but thank you for supporting me for now. I really appreciate it, and until next time, see you later. Bye.